Justin, Curtis, Simone, welcome to the Beyond Cinema Studios, and congratulations on
Kids,
Gook. You guys premiered the other night. I was there. It was incredible. Tell me how that felt.
How did it feel, Curtis?
Get away from me, bro.
How did it feel? How did it feel?
Yo, move. Your breath stinks, bro.
Hey, it's early.
Oh, it's the coffee, man. To me, it felt crazy, surreal. This is my first time at Sundance. We just did this film. We rocked out. I know how hard it was to make it. I know how much fun we had making it, and to see people's response to it, like they got it. They got what we were feeling when we were doing it.
People standing, which I rarely see at Sundance. You would think, but yeah,
that was crazy.
That was very gracious.
That was nuts.
It was very gracious of them.
I don't know. How'd you feel, Simone?
Yeah.
I was just surprised. I was just like, oh my gosh, because there's people all around me like sobbing, like, oh, and I was just like,
people were sobbing.
Yes, people were like, oh my gosh, and I was just like, oh, this is. So the first time I went, I wasn't crying. But the second time, I started to cry.
Oh, you did?
It was kind of sad. Okay.
Oh, you did?
No, you cried the first time.
I didn't. That's she's lying. I didn't cry the first time.
Cried.
All right.
Hey, it's cathartic, all for the crying.
You gotta
It's
get
a
it
sad movie, but it's also hopeful in ways too.
Yeah.
So you did a Kickstarter, because I was wondering how you got this film made. I mean, it's black and white. It's a very tricky subject matter. Tell me about doing the Kickstarter and how you got the film made.
Well, our initial funds we raised through private equity, and when we started the film, we probably had half the budget in our bank account, and we were thinking, oh my god.
When you started the film.
Because I had to do it, like
Bold.
yeah, I know, and I make my living as an actor, so there's a window I had during the summer. I was like, we gotta do this, so we just pulled the trigger and started going, and then the Kickstarter was to help with finishing funds and music licensing and stuff, and yeah, it was really uplifting because the community really got behind us. They understood what we were trying to do, and yeah, we set the goal I think at 30,000, but we ended up raising 55.
$56,272.
Oh wow!
Go ahead, Meredith.
Yeah, go ahead,
girl.
School me.
Well, it's important for people to know that you raised more than $55,000.
Exactly. Every dollar should count.
Yes.
For real, though.
Because they seriously helped. They saved us.
Well, your cast is so incredible, and it really makes. I mean, it's a family, literal family. You play her brother, and Simone, you're always hanging out at his store. Tell me about finding these two guys and the audition process. I mean, did you make her dance in the audition? Because that's like one of the key things.
I didn't make her dance, but the first time I met her, she did sing for us.
Can you sing for us now?
Come on, just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Uh,
I'm not gonna look.
We won't look. We won't look. If
You don't have
okay.
she's gonna. Okay.
You gonna do it?
Okay. There's a child who is sick and begging to be free. Yet there is no cure for his disease.
That is amazing.
Oh,
yes.
that's fire!
Yes.
That's fire!
Where'd that come from? I wasn't there before, yo.
That's fire! Yeah, it was.
That wasn't like that
When
before.
I first met her, she sang, and I was like, "This,
What?
she's the one." And I don't think I ever told you, but we already decided that you were gonna have the part from the moment we met you.
Really?
Yeah.
He actually
We
called
just-
me and told me that too.
But
Oh,
the
are
thing
you
was,
serious?
I wanted to give everyone a chance. So we found her at in Learmonth Park at a community arts center in South Central. And they opened their doors to us, allowed us to use their facilities, and we auditioned all the kids. But I couldn't just go in there and be like, oh, actually, no, it's just her. And so we gave everybody an opportunity. But, and the biggest thing with her was everybody came in and read the lines, and that was fine. But then I had some people do some improv. She was like a veteran. She's killing it. And it was just, I looked at my producer, we're like, it's done.
It's done.
It's done. And then Curtis, I was in New York actually earlier last year, doing a rewrite on the film in New York, and I asked some filmmaker friends, if they knew any, young, talented black actors, and then there's like, did you check out Ryan Koo's short film? I'm like, no. So I watched it, and he was the star of that, and I was like, he's dope. So then I asked if our friends could hook us up just to hang out, and we didn't tell him anything. I didn't tell him anything about the
Didn't tell
movie,
me anything, yeah.
and we
Oh,
got
that's great.
we got drunk out of
Yo,
our minds,
yo,
and we had such a great time. And I'm like, okay, I could spend a month and a half with
And
this
be
dude.
enemies with a person on screen.
Yeah. bro.
Yeah,
But also, I won't give anything away, but
Yeah.
enemies for most of the film.
yeah.
So tell me about this shoe store that you found that you shot at.
Oh man.
It was, I mean, it's the centerpiece of the film, and it represents more than just a store.
Yes. It was really important to me that it felt like period correct and also needed to be dilapidated. And with our budget, you know, there's a certain limit to what we could do. And I didn't have a locations manager. So basically what I did is, you know, I didn't want to shoot it in Compton because we had half of our stuff is at night and we have an 11-year-old on set. So Gardena I felt was like a happy medium. I looked all over the South Bay. I literally looked at the map and I went, streets like this all the way, streets like this all the way. And then I found that place. There was a for lease sign, called them up, and that's how we got it.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's such a fantastic place. It's your home in the film,
Yes.
essentially.
Wait, I just want to say real quick, when I watched the movie for the first time during the screening, we all shared it too. I'll talk to everybody else. When the shoe store comes up for the first time, everyone just like sank in their heart, yo. We was all like, whoa, because that was really our home. Like we
Yeah.
stayed there every day shooting all day, yo. It's really a special place for real. Like
That's wonderful. That's so
Yeah.
wonderful.
Kind of missed that.
Yeah.
though.
Yeah,
bro.
your
It was
dance
really cool.
parties in there.
Shit.
That was amazing.
He was there every day.
every day.
Even
bro.
though you weren't in a
was
lot, you
nice.
were in like only maybe half of the scenes, but you
Yeah.
just showed up on set.
He was there
Yeah,
every
man.
day.
These
These people
He
are
was
cool.
there every
These
day.
people are dope, man.
He was there every
They're
day.
cool
love that.
people. We're cool, man.
He was there
Well, I
every
think it's
day.
necessary because the film is dark. The film is very dark, and you're dealing with, I mean, it's set during the LA riots, which is one of the darkest times in American history,
Yeah.
you could say. Tell me about tackling that subject matter, and as actors, and even for you, Simone, this is a heavy film for an 11-year-old. How did you get through that, and what was that like?
So, to give you some background, my dad owned a business in Paramount/East Compton, and we got looted the last day of the riots. So it's very personal for me. And you know, the fact of the matter is, there's some other rights films that are being made, and you know, I was able to get a hold of some of the scripts. And the problem, you know, anyone's allowed to tell the story. And I should be able to direct a film about Napoleon if I want to. But the problem is the Korean story gets swept under the rug, and we are, you know, one of the most affected communities by the riots. So if I have this personal experience, if I didn't tell a story about it from my perspective, I would have felt so guilty. And you know, there's a lot of talk about diversity, and it's just a lot of complaining. If I want to do something about it, I should personally just create something. So, you know, and in terms of the content, I mean, it was a dark time, you know, and it was a dark part of U.S. history and also L.A. history. So, you know, we had a lot of conversations. Me and, you know, Curtis had a lot of conversations. We even talked a lot about what does it mean for him to be angry and also a black man. We had those conversations early on, and you know, we talked a lot of stuff through, and I was definitely conscious of it. I wasn't, you know, this isn't something I take lightly at all. We joke a lot, you know, but when it came to work, we were there to work. With Simone, we did about a month of rehearsals.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and you know, and just getting really comfortable with each other, and also just soft blocking and stuff. You want to talk a little bit about?
What was that like? A month of rehearsal.
You don't have
This
to
is
talk
your
about the rehearsal, but whatever you want to talk about
Yeah.
in terms of the dark subject matter.
Well, to be honest, I wasn't born during the LA riots, but I've heard about the LA riots, and to me, I was just surprised, and I thought it was really interesting to know about the LA riots and what happened back then at the point. Before this film, I knew about the LA riots, but I didn't know that much about it, but I started to do some research. My mom actually told me some things about the LA riots, and I was really fascinated, and I thought it was a really important story to share in this movie.
How did it feel inhabiting some of those darker scenes, some emotional scenes?
You have a scene with Curtis where I know you were saying, but you were behind
Oh, I
the
love
camera
that.
crying.
Yeah, I love that
I
scene.
was watching it crying. You were crying in it. Tell me about shooting that.
It was okay. So it was hard. I'm not trying to give too much of a waste.
Right.
Since I already just did. But it was an intense scene because you just have to really think about getting into that moment, getting into that deep, dark moment. You have to really take time off. And for me, it's not really hard for me to get out of those kind of scenes, but it was a little hard to get out of those scenes because I wanted to make sure that everyone was also okay in those scenes.
I just wanted to say one thing, and I keep telling this story. We were at lunch, and I was thinking for that scene, I was gonna have to emotionally, walk through emotionally, like get her to the right place. So after lunch, I was looking for her, and I couldn't find her. I was like, "Where's Simone?" And everyone's like, "I don't know." And I went into the room where they're supposed to do the scene. It was dark. She was sitting in the corner with the picture of her mother, emotionally preparing herself. I didn't tell her to do that. She's a natural actress because that's stuff you learn in acting school, like to
Yeah.
emotionally prepare for a scene, how to do that. She just intuitively knew.
Well, I do have to thank my mom for that because
Okay, so your mom taught you.
Yeah, she's taught
Okay.
me to do that too.
Okay, so we got to give her credit.
Yeah, well, the scene was incredible and powerful. We're back to the way the film is shot is the black and white. It feels like, romantic isn't the word, but it is like bittersweet and beautiful in a way.
Great.
Are there any images, like especially for you guys watching the film and you making it, that have stuck with you that you frame, or something that like represents the film to you, a visual image?
I love the roof shot where we're sitting on the roof and the smoke in the background. And I'm really happy you say that because I wanted the film to feel like a memory. Like you're looking back on something from the past.
That's dope. What's Auntie's last name?
Cheng.
Auntie Chang, the DP, cinematographer, killed it.
In college,
Still in college.
Still in college.
Your
in college.
editor, still in college.
Trying
Yes.
to get good grades.
Our gaffer is still at Chapman.
Yup.
Incredible.
Yeah, I mean, you find, my biggest joy is like finding people who are gonna break, and working with them before that and knowing that they're capable. So I enjoy working with like fresh people who aren't jaded yet and are there really excited to be there rather than what are you trying to do with this scene? Where do you? Okay, that's not gonna work. Those kind of people. These young guys, they're just so happy every day to just make something.
Make something that they really believe in, Make something that they're really happy and think is really gonna do something that they feel in their heart is representing something of themselves in some type of way. That's how I feel.
So we could talk about the way the film was shot all day, but images. Are there any images for you guys? The image on the roof. And
For sure, the donut scene, the car donut and Camilla's in the middle. I figured out that was visual effects, yo. I was like, yo, this is amazing, bro. Our visual effects team is popping, bro, because I could not know it's in. And I was like, yo, this is so dope. 'Cause it encompassed so much. It was like, it was what?
No, there's some dirty laundry there. Our visual effects wasn't.
I didn't know.
No. They made my life very tough. It got done though.
It got done.
Yeah.
Though.
Got done.
Well, it
Time,
looks
though.
great.
That's movies. That's movies,
Yeah.
though. That's movies.
And what about for you?
Probably the image that stuck in my head was when Daniel, Camilla, and Eli, Daniel, Camilla, and Eli were dancing together in the shoe store. That was
That was
cool.
mad cool, bro.
I like
I like
that.
that one a lot.
Well, I think someone brought this up at the Q&A, and this is the last question I have. The film is very much about the tension between the African American and Korean cultures in LA, and I'm sure all over the nation. Do you feel like we've progressed at all? Showing this film for people, have there been conversations about that afterwards?
Yeah, absolutely.
Should we be hopeful?
We should always be hopeful.
Right.
Yeah, we can't-
And there's no other way to be. I mean, but that's part of the reason for this film to be seen, and also why I made the film. It's a conversation starter, and it was 25 years ago. Yet, our country right now, the inauguration was a few days ago, and our country is so divided, and racism is coming back hard right now. It's almost frightening. So we need to talk about these things, and it's okay to disagree, but it's not okay to hate.
I didn't know if I've been struggling with that coming of age. I've been struggling with my perspective on being a young black man in America. and then being in the entertainment industry where I feel like I have a responsibility to a certain extent, you know, because I bring stuff to the masses. And I live at home with my grandparents, and my grandma's from Alabama, and then my grandfather's from Zimbabwe, where there's a crazy thing going on between. Yeah, it's, so having discussions with them and seeing the difference in our perspectives, it always keeps me on my toes and trying to figure out actively. I definitely don't think I have all the way the right thing. I don't have all the information I need to really, but what I wanted to do with this film was take a stab at it. I wanted to take a stab at what I felt and what I believed. Whether it's right or wrong, I wanted to take a stab at how I think we can go about looking at our situations to change them. How we can, how the perspective can be skewed to hopefully change it in a way that we all want to change it, because we all want it to be better, but we're just having problems getting there together. It's the weirdest thing in the world.
Well, thank you guys for all of you. So brave and such bold performances. So
Thank you.
thank you
We have
guys
a-
so much.
We have
Oh,
a present for you.
what?
Y'all, you're wearing it.
that's
You're wearing it. You're wearing it.
amazing.
Yeah, you're wearing it. You're wearing it. You're wearing it.
Today, I'm
You're
gonna
wearing it.
cut
Yes.
the sleeves and tuck it into my jeans.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm so
Do whatever you
stylish.
want.
Thank you
yeah.
guys so much.
Thank you. Thank you.